Okay, thank you. Erev Pesach, Lenore is on.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Good.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher barhar banu mikol kol am v'rom nu Nicole, Lashon, Vakish, Keed, Vikid, Shanu, Mitzvotav, Vati, Ten, Lanu, Adonai, Eloheinu, Ba'ahava. Now I have a parentheses
You do.
that
And look at the
starts
first word in the parentheses, Lenore. What's the first word?
Shabbatot.
Okay, so what do you think that means?
If
When do you think we read the thing
oh
in
oh
parentheses?
okay, and it is it starts with the end of Shabbos.
Right, you did, but it won't be on Shabbos. So you don't do that. You do it if it starts on Friday night, then you'll be read that part in the parentheses. But we will not be doing it this year, because you really okay. I don't want to, I'm not the police. You can do whatever you want. So let me step back. I don't want to I don't want anybody to feel guilty or in trouble. Nor the deal is it should not be Shabbat when you're doing this. Okay, because it's not really Pesach until after Shabbat. So that's why you wouldn't personally, if I started my Seder early, I still wouldn't do that part, even if it was Shabbat, because you want to distinguish that it really is the day, it's after Shabbat. Okay?
Okay. Um,
That's why I didn't read that part.
okay. Moadim the Simha Hagim Uzmanim
Good.
Sashon.
No, well, if they're both the dot is in the same place in both of them. Lissason, not shown, right? Because the dot is on the left in both. Lissason.
Oh, okay. Et Yom. Then
Again, you have the same brackets, the parentheses, I should say.
Tag Hamatzot
Good.
Azeh. Zaman Herutenu. Mikra Kodesh Zeher Vitziat Mitzrayim Kivanu Vaharta Veotanu Kidashta Mikol Ha'amin Moadei Kad Sheha Basimha Uv Son Tin Hao Tanu Baruch Atah Adonai Mekadesh Yisrael V'Hazmayim.
Yofi, fabulous. Terrific. Thank you, Lenore. Okay. Do I have another volunteer? I'd like to read it at least twice because more than two of you asked for this prayer. Okay, Arlene, you're on.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher bacharbanu mikol am,
Good.
v'romamu.
Now,
No,
Roma Manu. You see it?
say that again.
Veroma Manu. You see it?
Okay. V'rom,
Manu. It's easier if you
v'romamnu.
it's easier if you put if you read the vowel. Veroma Manu. That's
The
easier than trying to put it attach the M to the Manu, whatever.
V'rom. Say it again. I'm sorry.
Veroma Manu.
V'romamanu.
Good.
Mikol lashon
Good.
v'kidashnu.
Read it. What is it again? Read it again.
V'kidshanu
Perfect.
b'mitzvotav
Good.
v'titan lanu Adonai Eloheinu b'e let's see b'e hava b'he ba'av
No A. There's no A there.
right ba'av ba'e hava
What's the skincare cream in Israel?
ahava.
Thank you.
Okay, so ba'ahava mo'adim lishim ha lishim
Not
lisim
she.
lisim
Thank
ha
you. You know the word. Thank you.
hagim
No.
uz hagim
Yes.
hagim
Yeah, Chagim. Holidays.
uzmanim
Good.
lisason et yom hag hamatzot
Good.
hazeh ziman hey rutenu mikra kodesh
Good.
zecher li siat li
Good.
siat
Perfect.
mizram ki vanu vaharta
Good.
the otanu
Yeah.
ki dashta
Good.
mikal ha'amim umo ade
Yes.
kadshacha besimcha besimcha
Perfect.
uv sason hin chaltanu baruch atah Adonai mikadesh Yisrael bahazmanim.
Beautiful. Perfect. Terrific. No, terrific. Oh,
thank you.
Litziat
Working.
Mitzrayim. That's what we're talking about in the whole in the Seder. We talk about we go up to Israel, Ali, we make Aliyah, and when people leave Israel, it's Yotzei, it's leaving Israel. So it's going out of Mitzrayim. And in this book, and not all gotta do this, but many Haggadot don't say Egypt, they actually say Mitzrayim, because it wasn't just leaving the country Egypt, it was leaving that time, that period that we were in of slavery, etc., and all that. So that was Mitzrayim. So they in the English even they don't translate it, they call it Mitzrayim. So Yetziat Mitzrayim, and you'll see it in other times, is the going out from Egypt or going out from Mitzrayim. Zmanim also Zman is time, a season. So it's when it talks about Zmanim, it's the seasons. Okay, because you're going to hear that a lot too. in this. We're going to go on. We may come back if we have time, but I'd like to do some more of the Haggadah. We're not finished yet, though, and I don't know if you're gonna what you're gonna do, but we what do you have to do after Shabbos to? You don't have to do it, but but you actually have till Tuesday normally. But we're gonna, because we want to now make it into Pesach. We're right after what we just read. We haven't gone skipped anything yet. When it's Saturday night, which it will be this year, you actually make Havdalah part of the Kiddush. And there is the first prayer you're saying now is Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Borei Ma'orei Ha'esh. Now, what should you have at that point usually? Yes, Fran, I read your lips. I'm so impressed. You said candle. Yes, normally we have fire at this. Usually we have candle and fire. We do not do that now because on Yom Tov, okay, which is Pesach is Yom Tov, Shavuot is Yom Tov. The first 2 days and last 2 days, I should say. On Yom Tov, we're not allowed to light kindle lights. You say, oh, what do you mean we're not allowed to kindle lights? We light candles, we cook, whatever. You can transfer, you can't kindle or extinguish. So you don't have a candle as part of Havdalah. What many people do, and you'll see when you go shopping in a supermarket that has I should say the kosher for Pesach aisle, even if it's not a kosher supermarket, you'll also see Yortzeit candles, and you'll see them for two reasons. One is every holiday has a Yortzeit attached, a Yisker attached to it, when we light the Yortzeit candle, and also because you're not supposed to kindle or extinguish, you'll have a candle burning and you use that candle to transfer the fire. And if you go to a kosher supermarket, you'll see 2 and 3 day candles because they'll keep this one candle for all the chag so they can light from that candle. So there will be no candle. There's no spices because you don't have to revive yourself because they're going to another holiday. That's what they say about why one of the reasons we have the spices. So we do say that even though there is no candle involved. Then we have a paragraph that if you ever do Havdalah, you'll recognize some of the words. It's from the Havdalah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavdil bein kodesh lechol bein or lechoshech bein Yisrael le'amim bein yom hashvi'i l'sheshet yemei hama'aseh bein kedushat Shabbat kedushat Yom Tov. The holiness of Shabbat to the holiness of the Chag of the Yom Tov. Hivdalta. Ve'et Yom Hashvi'i mi sheshet yamei hama'aseh kidashta. Hivdalta be'kidashta et amcha Yisrael bikdushatecha Baruch atah Adonai hamavdil ben kodesh lekodesh. Does that sound, if you ever did Havdalah, does that sound a little odd? Usually in most Havdalahs, you'll say ben kodesh l'chol, from the holiness to the everyday. But we're not going from the holiness to the everyday. We're going from the holy to the holy. So it says ben kodesh l'kodesh. You're going from the holiness of Shabbat to the holiness of Pesach. So that's a little different. So, I'm not gonna, I don't know how many. Oh, does anybody want to read this? I'm gonna ask for a volunteer. Audrey, thank you.
I don't have it. Where
We're
Where
doing
is-
everybody should have, I wouldn't presume that everybody has this paragraph in your Haggadah. Okay, it's the paragraph that it'll say on Saturday night. And I assume that it's in any Haggadah. It's not in your Haggadah? Really? So what? Oh, the Passover Seder. Who put that out?
K-Tov, remember K-Tov?
Okay, Tav, yes, I remember that. It
This
should
was-
be, that's weird because this is really, I would expect it to be there because it does happen fairly frequently. That's on Saturday night, but all right, so
Well,
you
I'll
listen,
listen.
you listen carefully, Arlene.
I'm gonna listen.
I won't ask you for a volunteer. I know that different Haggadot certainly are different. The basic brachot I would expect to see, but what can I tell you? You know, nothing is as you expect.
It
Okay,
has
yes,
lighting of the holiday candles, but not to the extent of what you just
right,
read.
right. Well, the candles are the first thing, but this is actually part of the Kiddush at this point. You haven't, you're still part, this is part of Kiddush. But whatever, you know, we can't be sure of anything these days. What can I tell you? Anyway, Audrey, you read. Please, will you read?
I want to ask,
Yeah, sure.
also, I want to preface by saying that I never grew up doing any of this stuff. So I had a hard time finding it. And do you want the first two lines that end with Ha'esh, or do you want me to start in the next paragraph?
No, I want you to do, I don't want you to skip. It's part of it.
Okay,
And it's not even a hard part of it. So why skip it?
no, okay, fine. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei ma'orei
Perfect.
ha'esh.
Good. That's the bracha that you usually do over the candle if you do Havdalah.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavdil bein kodesh
Yeah,
le lechol
good.
bein or lit shech shech. Is that right?
Shecha.
Shachar.
Choshech. Choshech is night. This is all just it differentiates between the two things we talk about between holy and everyday. Bain which is kodesh l'chol. Bain or light is or. Choshech is night. Bain Yisrael Amin. Bain the Israel and the other nations and keep going.
Okay. Ben Yisrael la'amim ben yom hashbi'i
Good.
Lashay Shet Sheshet
Perfect. Yes. Sheshet.
Yomei Hama She Bain Kodesh Kodu
No O. There's no O there.
Bain Kedushat
Perfect.
Shabbat Lakad Lakadushat
Perfect.
Yom Tov Hev Da Lot Ba'et Yom.
No, I want you to read the other heave again. I want you just to read it. It's all the same ending. It sort of sounds the same. Try it again. You did it before. You did it actually the line before.
I
Heave
did.
dalta vet yom hashabbat masay. Okay, so this is the same word again.
He dal
Yes,
That's it. Thanks.
you got it.
No, I didn't know what I didn't get. So
Yes.
thanks. Okay.
Yes.
Ba'et Yom Hashvi'i
Yeah, you come back. Okay.
Mish Mishay Shet
Yeah.
Yamei. What is that first thing?
Hamasay.
I'm missing part of the letter.
Oh, okay.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have I have half of the het. So
Okay.
Ma'aseh Kidash Ta
Good.
Id Dalata.
No, the same word.
Idalta.
Thank you.
Vakid Vakidash ta,
Good.
et, um, da. Is that right?
Amecha. I don't know if I can tell. I'm not sure. I think which one it is, but it's your people, your nation.
Amecha.
Yeah,
Yisrael. Beek, du, shat, techa,
perfect.
Baruch, atah,
Yep.
Adonai, ham, hamav, deal, bang, kodesh, leko, lekodesh.
Thank you. Same word. Same word. Kodesh Lakodesh.
Do you want,
Okay.
do you want the next paragraph too?
Sure.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehech yanu. Wow, that doesn't sound right. Baki manu yahig anu lazman hazeh.
Okay, you know that prayer,
know
but
that
you never
better.
looked at it before.
never
That
read
was
it.
thank you.
Never read it.
Exactly. Exactly. I could tell. I could tell what was happening. I could see your mind. Okay. Yes. We say that a lot. Okay. I think we're gonna go on, and then if we have time, we'll do it back. Then, the next thing we do, things are moving along now. We did the first cup of wine. It's a big kiddush. The next one, when we do the other cups, it's much shorter. The next thing we do, oh, one thing just for the point of choreography, when you drink the wine, you're supposed to be leaning. Okay. It sort of my explanations are mine. I know you don't have to buy them, but you lean because the Romans were laying on like a couch, a chaise, and also when you're rich, we're supposed to be free, and people we can lay down. We don't have to sit up. So they used to lay down, not all the way down, but they'd be on a chaise when they ate. Now we're free when we're doing kiddush for sure. We're remembering our freedom. It is not that this is not slavery. So we lean when we drink the wine. The next thing we do is we wash the hands, but without a blessing. Various reasons people talk about, because we are going to be now doing dipping, so we want to wash our hands, but it's without a blessing because we're not eating bread. And another thing is just to get people to ask questions, because somebody that that knows if we're going to be eating, why aren't we we're washing hands? Not that we're eating, but washing hands. Usually we do a bracha, or not. So people ask. That's really the whole goal, is to get people to ask questions. And even the rabbis and the Talmud, we've been studying a little bit of that at our shul. They do a lot of the things they say are really designed to get people to ask questions, and not just the 4 questions, but questioning. My son, just as a point of information, throws candy at anybody that asks a question. They get a piece of candy. So it's an encouragement. So that's what you do. And the reason I also say it is because it is one of the steps of the Seder that we read. So that's one. The next thing is we dip a vegetable and we recite. And I know that you can read this, so I'm not going to even read it first. I'm going to ask Denise. Denise, are you awake? I want you to read the next line. It's the bracha. It says, dip the vegetable in salt water and recite. I assume in most of your Haggadahs it'll give that instruction. That's another thing. The
Okay.
whole thing, the Haggadah, is instruction. So yes, for
Okay.
us as well as our children.
All right, I have to tell you, my Seder, my Haggadah is totally different from everybody's. Most of it is in English, and I
That's
chose
okay.
this one because myself and my friend are the only 2 Jews at this 14-person Seder.
Can I hurry?
And a
Well,
lot
I
of them have,
prefaced it. There's nothing wrong. I mean, that's fine. I
well, the
prefaced it
thing
by
is, a
saying,
lot of the prayers you're reading, I don't even have. So, or
Well,
during
that's
English, so,
okay. That's okay. And if you choose to do it in English, it's okay. But because this is a Hebrew class, I figure we should read it in Hebrew.
yeah, and
Um,
I do have that. I do have
yeah,
the Hebrew for that.
the bracha for each thing you'll probably have, and the okay,
Yes.
so
All right,
that's
so it's Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam barei peri ha'adamah.
good. And Pariha Adama is fruit from the earth. Okay. So what we do at our Seder, and I just to give you an idea, is we have food on the table at this point. We don't want people to be saying the whole time that we're trying to engage everybody. When are we going to eat? When are we going to eat? So we put food on the table that you can eat after saying Borei Priya Dama. You can't eat matzah at this point because you haven't said the thing of matzah, but you have said the things that grow from the ground. So we put, and we learned from somebody, I'm not going to, from I think of his name. We put on the things that the Israelites fetched that they didn't have when they got out of Egypt. Then they were fetched a lot, but one of the things they said, oh, in Egypt we had fish, we had melons, we had cucumbers, we had leeks, we had garlic. So those are the things we have on our table, and people can take them. So they're not starving and dying to get to the meal. So they can enjoy that part because you're not so hungry. So that anything that you is that bracha you can have on the table, you can let people eat. Okay. The next thing we do, and I assume this is in most books, is yachatz. We break the middle matzah, and then we tell the story. Just to what do we do with this matzah after we break it?
Zafi Coleman.
Thank you very much. The afikoman is half of it, and usually it's said that you're supposed to use the bigger half as the afikoman. First of all, because you might need more matzah because everybody has to eat it, and you still have 2.5 pieces for everybody else for the things that you're using for, and also because if you're hungry and if you're a slave, you don't know when your next meal is going to come, so you want to put aside as much as you can, so you make the avikoma bigger. Yes, Lenore, do you have a question? Lenore?
Oh, no,
No?
I don't have it.
Okay. Okay, so anyway, so then we put that aside, and depending on what your custom is, either the head of the person that's leading the Seder hides it and the kids look, or the kids hide it and the adults look. So whatever works for you. So it's all possibilities here. Okay, now we're gonna get to the 4 questions. I don't know who does it. We were when we were studying, I told you we're studying Talmud yesterday, and it says, oftentimes we'll have the youngest, but if there are no children, then the adults do it. And if there's nobody else there, then you do it yourself. So anybody can do the 4 questions. I have a book that is 1,000 different ways to do the 4 questions, which is a fun thing to have because you can, especially Denise, if you have people that are not Jewish, this is just a fun thing because you can have it in Valley Girl, you can do anything. If you have anybody at your Seder that speaks French, they could do it in French. Sometimes we have had people that speak other languages, and in the book it has all the different languages, so it's just fun. And you can certainly do it in English. Just one thing, we're going to look at the English, which I usually don't do in this class. It says the 4 questions. Now you can look at it in English or in Hebrew. Ma is what? Okay. How many questions are there in this that what we're looking at? Whatever Haggadah you have, always
Four.
how many
Wow.
questions are there?
Actual real questions,
Is
there's
this
only
trick? Is this a
2.
trick question?
What?
Yeah, right. That's true.
What?
It's one question and four or 5 answers or something.
Thank you. It's one question and it's 4 statements. It's not an answer right? The first question is, how is this night different from all other nights? And then it says, in the English, in my book, it says why. It says on all other nights we eat chametz or matzah. Why on this night? But there's no why in Hebrew. It just says on all other nights we eat chametz or matzah. On this night we eat only matzah. So actually, is only one question. I use this a lot when I say like somebody's that's always late. I'll say Manishta, and they're late that day. I'll say Manishta Nahalalaza. Why should this night be different from any other night? Because it isn't. But so there's really only one question. This tells you a little bit about the people that at the time when they wrote these 4 questions. There were not always these questions. One question was about roasted lamb, but that wasn't a big deal anymore, and they took that away and they put in the leaning on one. So you can see from the time period of they did that. And these are the things that actually we know that and the dipping, it really doesn't make sense, by the way. On all other nights, we don't have to, the dipping is not like, that was a really big deal, because they used to say we dip once, because they used to, that dipping was very important, because the Roman meal, that's how they ate. They dipped their food. They with this, they had this table with all the thing and with the dips. So that was important to them. Okay, when do we dip? What do we dip here? Well, it says we dip twice. What do we dip?
Bitter herbs.
Then we dip the herbs in the charoset when we eat them together. We're not supposed to eat the bitter herbs by themselves, so we dip it in the charoset, and then we dip in the vegetable, parsley, whatever you use in your house, potato, in the salt water. That's the first dip. Okay, somebody read. I have confidence in you.
Do you want us to read the statements?
I want you to read the whatever is in your Haggadah. And okay, Denise, you're on.
Should I sing it or say it?
Whatever
I
you
love the
like.
song.
You're more than welcome to sing it if you'd like to sing it.
Okay. Manishtana halayla haze mikol halelot mikol halelot shebechol halelot anu ochlim hametzu matzah halayla hazeh halayla hazeh kulo matzah Shebekol halelot anu oklin sha'ar yirakot halalai hazeh halalai hazeh
Maru.
halalai hazeh maror. If I don't do all the things, then I lose my
Yes, I
Shebekol
understand.
halelot Shebekol halelot enanu matbilim aflu pa'am echat halayla hazeh shite fe'amin. That's all I have.
One more. You might be turning the
Oh,
page.
there it is. Okay, there it is.
Otherwise, it's not 4.
There you go. Shebekol halelot anu oklin bein yoshvin uvein mesubin. Halelah hazeh kulanu mesubin.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, somebody else want to read, just for fun. Fran, you haven't read, have you? Okay, you can do it.
I just can't see, so that's my problem.
Okay.
And I don't sing, so.
You don't have to sing.
Manashtana halayla hazeh michol halaylot. Shebechol halaylot anu ochlim hametz umatzah. Halayla hazeh kulo matzah. Shebechol halaylot anu ochlim sha'ar yir kot. Halayla hazeh matzah.
No, look again.
Hazeh maror.
Thank you.
Shebachol haleilot ein anu mamifilim is that?
Matbilin, exactly. When you came out with it.
Afilo
No. Afilu.
me no pe'am echad
Good.
laila hazeh shete פעמים.
Uh,
שבכל הלילות אנו אוכלים, אין יושבים ובין מובאים הלילה הזה כולנו מובאים.
The Subin. Right. Kulanu was all of us. Remember, we talked about the new ending, all of us. Misubin lean, okay? And again, just because I want these are you can understand this, pray this, whatever it is, the questions. The we manishtan my why is this lahalayla this day hazeh laila hazeh is this day from all the nights, okay? And then we talk about chametu matzah. We understand what that is. Yirakot is vegetables. If you go to Israel, they have great yirakot. Today we eat maror is the vegetable we eat, and afilu afilu pa'am achat is even one time. Afilu pa'am achat from one. Shetei pe'amim, 2 times we dip, okay? So that you have a general understanding of what you're reading, hopefully, and that will make it, I think it makes it more interesting and more worthwhile. Somebody else asked, we getting to the time, for the 10 plagues. So this is a little harder. So far, we haven't changed we haven't really skipped anything. We're going to go through the whole where your story is, wherever you are. The 4 children. First, we get to the 4 children. We say we were slaves. Then we do the 4 children, which is also an interesting piece to talk about in your Seder. If whether you're leading or contributing in a Seder or want to ask questions, the 4 children is always something that is interesting. Like who people ask, who are the 4 children today? And we can also say it can be based on a little bit on age. At different ages, we are more or less one of these things. In my Haggadah with the 4 children, it has an illustration that shows this. These are the 4 children. That's another thing that are different in different Haggadot, especially if you get the newer ones, where they show the illustrations. And the reason it looks like this, if you can tell, is there's a little bit of all of them in each of them. There's nobody that's all good or all bad or all whatever. So a little of all of these children and all of us. And I just think it's a nice thing to
Like
keep in
that.
mind.
But they're
During our
all men. They're all male, it looks like.
Well, there could be a woman wearing pants. It doesn't say that it's a man.
Okay.
There, but I will say that, and in another Haggadah, and I'm sorry, I just didn't get to it. I have some other stuff to do for Women's League. They have all women, 4 women. The one and the Haggadot, when Israel was being founded, the wise child is shown as a pioneer, and the wicked one is a chassid. So so it depends on what culture you're talking about, but which is good and which is not so good. And just if you talk about reading Hebrew, in the Hebrew, it also says you for the wise child, which it does not usually tell you that in most of the Haggadah when they do the English, because we say the reason that the bad kid is wicked is because he says that what does it mean to you? That's what it's in my English. But the wise child also says you, but he puts himself in it, but he does also say you if you read the Hebrew. Anyway, that's an interesting part to discuss. And any of this stuff, they're in the Talmud the parts that we were learning, she said, if people are asking questions, you don't even have to really do that's 4 questions, because the whole point is to ask questions. But then I said, you can't leave it out because kids have been spending 2 months studying this. If you have any children in your Seder, they definitely want to do that. But the point is to tell the story and to ask questions, and this is just a guide. Denise, also to you in particular, it's a guide. There are a few things you have to do. You have to have the matzah. You have to talk about maror, and the sacrifice, Pesach Moror and Pesach. You have to talk about those. The rest of the stuff is just, you don't really have to say about the guy that was 20 years old and then he became like a guy that was 70 years old or whatever. It doesn't, that's not necessary to put in even though it has most Haggadot. You just, as long as you tell the story. Okay, so we get to where we talk about my father as a wandering Aramean. Hopefully, in some way, you can tell where the 10 plagues are. I don't know what to tell you. This one I have, see, this is an important thing. So they have a big illustration in here. One of the reasons I like this book is I like illustrations. I don't like just to have good, yes, good. I don't like just words. That's a little boring. It's more interesting when it has pictures. So if anybody can find the plagues, that would be great. If you can't, I will ask somebody to read them so at least that you can hear what they are. Who has the plagues? Okay, great. Lenore, Arlene, Edith is gone. Yes, Fran. Edith, do you have them?
I'm not sure. How does it start? Like, what's the first word?
Dam, Tzfardea, Kinim, Harov, Dever. It's really just listed. It said, it in my book at the top of the page, it says, Eser Makot Habe Hakadosh Baruch Hu Al Mitzrayim B'Mitzrayim Ve'ilu Hein. It says these are the 10 plagues which the Holy One brought upon the Egyptians. If you look in the English, you should be able to find. That's where you can find it. Oh, and before that, actually, it says with signs and with wonders that provides the plague. And we're not going to read that. It's really after the whole story because what you're going to notice is, it's right before Dayenu. You should be able to find Dayenu. It's right before Dayenu.
Yep.
You should be able to tell that in your book.
Yep.
No, you can't find it? Did you find it, Denise? You
I
must
have, yeah.
Dayenu. Yeah, it's right before Dayenu.
Yes.
So that's
I
that's
got for,
a good
I
clue
got-
to figure it out. We're almost, you can tell, it's very funny. I've seen some things from the rare book room at JTS. And if you have ever a chance to do that, it's really spectacular. That most of the things in the rare book room, they had these beautiful Haggadot before there was printing that were calligraphy and things that had all kinds of drawings and stuff, but they were dirty because they used them. So you can see my Haggadah, you can't really see it, but you can, when you get to the pages with the eating, I've got stuff all over it. With the korech, with the sandwiches and the the chazeret and the charot, it's on my book. Okay, so it's right before Dayenu.
Can I ask something?
Sure, you can ask anything you want.
Well, it's done, but, so Dayenu, I never really looked at the word before, so the yud kind of, is it normal for the yud to do double duty? Like it changes how it's not
Dayenu.
right, no, I know the word, but,
Yeah,
so it changes the, for the daled, and then
no, it doesn't.
it does too.
Dayenu.
Oh, so you don't say Dayenu? Oh.
Yeah. Dayenu. The metek is under the yud. Dayenu. It was enough. Dayenu.
Yeah, but when you put them together, it sounds like, okay, got it. All right, thank you for that.
But you can do, it should be with both because it has a dot in it at the top. Dayenu, but you really don't usually say that. You can if you want to be really really detailed. It could be Dayenu, but you're not going to do that, are you?
Diet.
No, I'm not because I'm singing and
So
I'm going die.
right. So you could do it, but you don't have to. But you won't. You could read it Dayenu, but
Okay,
you're not going to do that.
don't call on me anymore because I have these questions.
I'm more than happy to call on you. Okay. Would anybody that has it, Gretchen Wiener, do you have the 10 plagues? Because you haven't read yet, I
I
think.
think so.
Okay.
Let's see, is it Adam,
Yes.
Zafar, Deah,
Yes.
Perfect. Yes,
Kin, Kini, Kinim,
good.
Arov, Dever, Shakan,
No, there's a dot under, not a line, a dot.
Shakin,
Good.
Ba'arav,
Tricky.
Ba'arav,
It's a ration and then a dalid.
Barad,
Perfect.
Arveh,
Good.
Koshen,
No. Or le choshech, night. Choshech,
Koshech,
dark, darkness, dark, or light and dark. Yeah.
Machat,
Yes.
Bakorot.
Good. Perfect. And you can read these in English, and you don't have to read them in Hebrew. But this is one. And then Rabbi did my book, and I assume it has in many of your others. Rabbi Judi made them into an acrostic, and we know what acrostics are. It's to help us remember. Datzach, dash, chab. Okay, then we have Dayenu.
But Judy,
We all,
could you do me for boils, which is like the sixth one? Is it
yes,
Shechin?
yes,
Okay, because I was hearing something else.
yeah, Shechin. Yeah,
I-
please, any time ask.
Okay,
Yes,
sorry.
good. And now we have a lot of people will have masks or a bag with all the plagues that makes it more fun and interesting too. It's a little sad that we make such a big deal about with the masks and all that, what all these bad things happening. But this is also the time though that we will take a drop out when we read these, whether it's in Hebrew and or English. We take a drop of wine out of our glass because we don't want we do feel bad that other people did have to suffer for us to be free. So we do not drink from a full glass at that point. Okay. Oh, it's 11:30. Okay, so we're not going to do. I suggest you do Dayenu just because it's fun. Then the things you have to say is you have to explain, and it says in my Haggadah, these are the things you have to explain: is Pesach, Matzah, and Maror. What the story that you give can be whatever you want, but you have to explain what Pesach, and we call it Pesach, but Pesach actually was the offering they did at the Seder. The night before they had to kill a lamb and eat a lamb. And then why do we eat matzah and why do we eat more? Those three things you're supposed to say, or you haven't actually done the appropriate Seder. And then we get to the second cup, and then we do the Motzi, Rochza is another step. That's we wash our hands and we do the bracha. And then we do Motzi. And in the Motzi, you'll notice, and I presume in your Haggadah will say that'll say the Motzi that we do all the time. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech Motzi lechem min haaretz, and then it will say the special one for matzah, because lechem, the bread, it's all kinds of bread. So, and matzah is sort of a kind of bread. So you say that bracha first, then you say the one, because you're not just eating bread, but you are commanded to eat matzah. So we do the matzah next. Then there's a short bracha. The saying these are all one lines from maror. And then that's when we dip the maror in the charoset and eat it. And then we have the sandwich, and then the meal is served. I also suggest that you don't leave out the songs, because the song you have part of Hallel also, which is very nice, and then you have the songs. And if you really feel that your people aren't gonna, or your kids are gonna go to sleep, you can do more earlier. It's okay. I particularly love myself, because it's easy, is Who Knows One in Hebrew or in English. And if you have a lot of people at your Seder, you can try to jump in, and each person tries to get one of those, and then and during the whole thing, the person that has whatever they have is the one that does it. Like, I will, if I get Who Knows Two, I know two knows two are the tablets that Moshe brought. And then when it comes to, when we do it again, 1, 2, 3, and when it comes to go backwards, 3, 2, 1, you do it again. So anyway, I just suggest that we do it. Just have a good time at your Seder, learn something. You can, another thing you can do, and it's a little late, but not too late. If you have people come to your Seder, you can ask them to bring questions or them to prepare a part of the Seder, so that you don't have to do everything. I'm not necessarily talking about the food, but one of the sections that we do, or one of the explanations, and so that you're not doing everything, or whoever is doing it, they're not doing everything. So I hope you all have meaningful Seders and have a good time. And I look to hearing from you when you come back, to hear about your Seders. Okay, and we will not be meeting next Friday. Yes.
Just in case of.
Yes,
To
this-
everybody.
Yes, yes, Arlene, do you
Um,
have a question?
But it's not a question, it's a comment back to when you were
Yeah.
talking about after we eat the greens, you know, that people can eat. So we should have things so that they're, so I found this this is a Jubalong Haggadah.
I like Jubalong. Thank you. I would suggest everybody, you, just 1 second, then you're gonna talk about it. Jubalong, it's just exactly the way it says. You can download it on your, you don't have, you can buy it, but you can download it. There's a couple of pieces that I noticed that are really nice. Yes, Arlene.
Well, so this is so to your point, to your very point, it's called Ruth's Mix. And it says, you know, that everybody at your Seder, some are born Jewish, those who are converted, those who are not Jewish, and some that are just there for the wine and the singing, which is part of their Jubalong makes things. But the Ruth's Mix, again, is almonds, raisins, and chocolate chips. So not only is it a nosh, but it's such a wonderful explanation for, because like at my Seder, and Denise,
Different bits, different.
they're not going to
things.
be Jewish people, you know.
Absolutely.
And so I thought that was very clever.
I-
the way
I
it worked.
Good
think
idea.
I think it's terrific, and
I like that.
I use that stuff, but I also I make granola for Pesach, but I don't have it at the table, but I have it all the other time. But yes, I do recommend it. There's also a piece about dates, having a date on your Seder on your table, which I thought was
Mhm.
really nice. It's towards the beginning
Mhm.
of the Haggadah. So I do recommend it. Enjoy.
Good idea.
Shabbat
Enjoy,
shalom. First,
everybody.
Shabbat
Bye,
shalom.
everybody.
Thank
Don't
Bye.
kill
Bye.
yourself
Thank you,
cleaning.
Judi.
Enjoy your holiday.
Thank you.
I'll
Bye,
talk to you.
everybody. Shabbat
Thanks.
shalom.
Goodbye.
Uh,